So TF2 outlived Overwatch 1. I totally called it. Just kidding, this is still Overwatch 1. Absolutely roasted, that was brutal. This month, a new video game came out called Overwatch 2. Now first they added sticky bombs, then they added a kunai, and now they've added the number 2 in the title. It's just shamelessly ripping off TF2 at this point.
That's a TF2 air shot.
Anyway, nobody has made a video about Overwatch 2 yet. Actually, some people have, but nobody has said anything bad about it yet. Oh wait, everyone's saying bad things about it.
Overwatch 2 isn't the worst game I've played this year, but it's definitely the most disappointing.
Well, that's just plain mean. Thing number 1 that everyone is saying. So a lot of people have been pointing out that Overwatch 2 is basically Overwatch 1. But this really shouldn't come as any surprise at this point because we've known this for about 6 months, ever since we tried the beta.
Don't call kill a Violet.
Same game.
My initial gut reaction in May was, yep, this looks very much like Overwatch 1. Maybe I was expecting something else, but it feels like we're beyond that now. And anyway, in Overwatch's defense, many games look similar to their predecessors. Take Team Fortress Classic and TF2 for example, basically the same game. I'm not sure exactly what we were expecting, just for things to be more different. And I think there was one way they could have achieved this, and that's simply if they launched the game with 100% new maps. Because when you're playing on a new map with a new hero, my monkey brain says this feels like a brand new game. But when you're playing on an old map with an old hero, it feels very much like the same game, but at 10 times speed, which I'll get to in a minute. Making a new set of heroes would probably not be a good idea, but making say 10 new maps, would that be possible? Maybe? I don't know. So yeah, we've established Overwatch 2 is similar to Overwatch 1, but I quite liked Overwatch 1, so I don't actually mind too much. In fact, I think Overwatch 1 was a good game. I know, this is pretty out there, please forgive me. I think Overwatch 1 was a really good game, but there was Brig. It was a good game with imperfections, like any other game. TF2 has random crits, and Overwatch has Brig. Although she seems less annoying now, she isn't accompanied by 2 other shields. Besides the new content and the battle pass, I would say there are 3 main differences between Overwatch 1 and 2. It's free, it's 5v5, and there's reduced CC and shields. So firstly, it's a big fat free game that's free. Going free to play is massive, and I feel like sometimes people forget this or take it for granted, and I'm hoping this will bring many more players into the game and make it explode. They deleted the shields. Shields are the worst, they're not much fun to shoot, and less of them is a breath of fresh air. And finally it's 5v5, and these last 2 things seem to have led to a very different feel to the game. Maybe I'm still adjusting, but right now everything kind of just feels like one big deathmatch. For some reason it feels faster and flankier. There are players flying everywhere. I feel like even if I'm playing support, I have to spend way more time doing damage just to try and make more of an impact. And I guess that's partly due to the one less tank thing. And with this faster paced playstyle, I worry that some of the strategy, particularly in lower ranks, could get a little lost. It becomes more about individual skill rather than teamwork, team composition and strategy, which is fine, but I don't think that was the original vision for the game. And I know that many are missing some of those tank duos. I know I used to love that methodical, gradual push when playing Zarya and Rhine on maps like King's Row. And also now a bigger proportion of the team are support, and there's one less tank to keep alive and pump heals into, and the support have regen. Sometimes it still feels like things take a long time to die. I have no doubt this is better than endless shields, but if I'm playing Winston for example, and I'm poking people with my tickle cannon, right now it feels like it's set on very gentle mode, whereas before I felt like I was taking more people out. But it's still early days, and I think people are still getting used to things, and maybe I am too, and maybe I'll eventually end up enjoying a more frantic game. Thing everyone is saying number 2. It's the PvE that will be the saving grace. It's the PvE that's going to be a game changer. This PvE mode, boy, I'm telling you, it better be good. My word of advice to the world is lower your expectations. So PvE mode will be coming next year, and the goal is to create a story or campaign mode that has many hours of replayability where you can level up your character and try lots of cool new abilities, which sounds really fun, but I find it hard to imagine a game mode in the Overwatch universe that has that kind of replayability that you see in other RPGs. The skill trees we've seen do look fun, but it also looks like something that you could get through in perhaps just a few hours. The thing that keeps you playing in other PvE games is being able to endlessly level up a permanent character, explore huge maps, find loot, and progress to the point where you can finally kill that end boss. And I just find it hard to imagine that these kind of mechanics and these kind of systems could exist in the world of Overwatch, but hopefully I'm proven wrong. However, I'm perhaps not being fair, as I've never really been into the PvE side of Overwatch 1, and I've never really been into like MVM in TF2 either, so maybe that kind of format is just not my cup of tea. Objectively annoying things. One thing that has been objectively annoying is that I can't play the video game with my friends, at least not on tank in competitive mode. They seem to have tweaked things behind the scenes so that you have to queue with people of a more similar rank than you had to before. The second objectively worst thing in the world is tank queue times. I'm livid. Overwatch 1 made me main tank because I'm impatient and I like short queue times. And now they're like, psych, only one tank now. Here's a 9-minute queue time, enjoy that. So I guess now I have to become a support main. The third objectively annoying thing is that new heroes will be locked behind exactly 1 million hours of playtime, which when you're a loser boomer like me with a job and like a family and stuff, it means that honestly I'm worried I might not be able to play new heroes anymore, but again we'll have to wait and see. One bonus mildly annoying and weird thing is the fact that everyone has been placing 2 ranks lower than they were in Overwatch 1, which I think is just a funny prank that Blizzard are playing to wind people up.
Yep, I got bronze 5. I lost 2 games.
Wow.
There's no way. Are you serious?
I was like 3,400 in freaking Overwatch 1.
The copium is flowing strong out there at the moment. As to why they're doing this, I'm less sure. The only reasons I can think they might do this is to try and keep you playing, because when you finish your placements, you'll be lower than you expect and you'll also get a bit of a win spree afterwards, which sounds broken, or to try and shake out players who are perhaps at the wrong rank and to try and force them to prove themselves again. If you know any more about that, let me know in the comments below. I think in general things are still settling. There are of course some balance issues. Doomfist is supposedly a bit naff, Zarya and Souljourn are really good, and D.Va and Sombra are borderline broken. But this will change as we get new patches and as people figure things out. It takes a while for the meta to shake out. A couple of final things worth a single sentence in this video. I think switching the lighting on some of the maps was a little underwhelming and kind of pointless. Removing 2CP was a bit unnecessary too. I was fine with that game mode. The new rank progression system, 7 wins or 20 losses and you get adjusted, is weird, but maybe it's fine. Something I still need to get used to and experience a little more. I think I get why they're doing it. They wanted to remove the pain of watching your SR slowly trickle down after each loss and try and focus on tracking those wins. Anyway, I liked Overwatch 1 and I like Overwatch 2. It's a fun games. High five, I give this a Toofty stamp of approval. Those were my opinions. I'm sure you'll agree I have really good opinions. Thanks for watching and I'll see you guys in the next video. Smash like
That's like.
and subscribe.
Saved.
Subscribe.
Subscribe.
Perfect.